Howdy y'all, it's Ryan from RNA Music, deep in the heart of Texas. That's where I'm at right now, this very second. Alright, this is going to be a quick answer video about pedal boards. Check it out. So I got a question in one of our FAQ videos about pedal boards and effects and orders and effects loops and all that sort of stuff. And you know, I thought I would go into a little bit more detail on my pedal board and kind of show you what I do. Now there's all kinds of ways to do it. I don't guess there's a really right or wrong way, because it just depends on the sound that you want to get. And everybody has an opinion. Yeah, they do. And everybody wants to tell you what theirs is, usually. That's alright. Well, I was asked about mine, so I'm going to tell you. So let's come on over and check out my pedal board. Alrighty, y'all. So here's my pedal board at the moment. We've got a few pedals on it. First off, I've got the Boss TU2 old school tuner, of course. Then I have the Boss SD1 Super Overdrive, which is quite tasty. I have my green carrot pedal overdrive. So nice. Thank you, Andy. So nice. Got a MXR Wylde Phaser, basically a Phase 90, juiced up a little bit. And we've got the Flashback TC Electronic and the Hall of Fame Reverb. Alright, now these are going into my Mesa dual rectifier. Oh, and this little pedal over here, you see this? This is actually a pedal from my my old Randall 100 watt amp channel switcher. Now I'm using it to switch channels on the Mesa because I don't have the Mesa switcher pedal. So this one is just the channel switcher for the amp, and then the rest are going in a couple different ways. Alright, now effects loop. So we've got the effects loop on the Mesa. Now the only thing I have going in the effects loop actually is the Flashback and the Hall of Fame. Right? So I have a line, if you're wondering how to do this, on your effects loop you have a send and a return. So I'm running a cable from the send jack into the input of the Flashback. Little mini cable from the Flashback to the Hall of Fame, and then from the Hall of Fame we have the cable coming out that is going to the return jack of the effects loop. Right? So the only thing in the effects loop right now is the Flashback and the reverb. Delay, reverb, time-based effects like that usually work really well in the effects loop, because what happens is when you run them into the front of the amp, like I have the other pedals, as soon as you switch, like right now we're in the dirty channel of the Mesa. If I go to the clean and turn on my reverb and my delay, right? Now, if these were going into the front of the amp, when I switch to the overdrive channel, it would just totally push those effects too much. They would become way exaggerated. Right now I have them set to where, whether it's on clean or dirty, it's relatively the same. But if they were going into the front of the amp, the delay and the reverb would just be too much. The levels get pushed too much. So that's why they're in the effects loop. Now everything else, like I have my tuner and the two overdrives and then this phaser, they are actually all running into the front of the amp. So I've got my cable to the tuner, little mini patch, mini patch, mini patch. The output of the phaser is going back into the front of the amp. Now the phaser is kind of interesting because it's you kind of think of it a little bit sometimes as a time-based effect, but I guess it's really not. It's more of an EQ sweep type thing. It doesn't sound that great to me in the effects loop. I tried it both ways. I tried the phaser in the effects loop because I thought that's where it should go, but it did not sound good at all. So I had to bring it back out. So now it's coming after my overdrives into the front of the amp. It's the last thing in that signal path. So basically I have two signal paths, and it seems to work the best so far. Or I like the way it sounds anyways. But that's the reason you might do that for a 2-channel amp. Now if you had a single channel amp, different story. So yeah, there you go, dude. Now, again, there's really no kind of right or wrong way, I guess, because people will do all kinds of things right or wrong based on the sound they want to get. But generally in a 2 or 3 channel amp, that's kind of the general setup that most people will do. If you have a single channel amp, like my Jet City 20 watt over there is a single channel, well then obviously you don't have to worry about that. Everything's just all lined up in a row, and it just set it all in the front. It doesn't have an effects loop. But generally that's kind of the basic idea behind it. Now you can always fiddle with that yourself. I recommend kind of experimenting. You know, put pedals in certain places and see if you like the sound that way. Again, there's no right or wrong. That's generally just try it the way you want to do it and see what you like. That's what I do with my pedal board right now. It changes a little bit. I don't always use the phase, the ZAC Wylde phase. I just now plugged it back up. Actually, I haven't been using it. It introduces a little bit more gain into the signal, which is interesting. I've noticed. So as soon as I turn on the ZAC Wylde, the Wylde phase, it actually juices the gain and boosts it a teeny tiny bit, which is cool if that's what you want. But anyways, that's my pedal board, and that's how I have mine run through the signal path right now. Any questions about it, leave me a comment below, and we'll talk to you soon. Keep the music alive. So excited.